Hey guys, and welcome back to Found Bits, the series where we revisit some unused Lost Bits content that has since been found. A few months ago, I covered the newest fighting party game on the block, and we went over a whole bunch of neato things that didn't make the final cut, from unimplemented characters to voice lines, graphics, and more. Since that time, another party fighting game has been announced, featuring shirtless Shaggy, and Nick All Star Brawl has also been getting some updates. If you haven't yet watched the original Lost Bits video on this game, I highly recommend you do for context here, but anyways, with this first wave of updates, here's a quick video to see what Lost Bits have been found, and which haven't. Alright, so first up in the Lost Bits video, I went over a whole bunch of alternate costumes that were found left over in the game's files. Now thankfully, all of the ones we saw have since been added into the game, as well as a few that I don't think we saw back then. Really awesome to see the super cool black and white comic style costumes of Leonardo and Mikey paying homage to the original TMNT comics, as well as Cowboy Patrick. Can't go wrong with Dirty Dan over here. In my Lost Bits video, I also mentioned that there was coding in the game that might have suggested that these alternate costumes might have been planned to be introduced as optional cosmetic microtransactions, so it's quite a relief to see that these costumes were added for free for everyone to enjoy. Unfortunately though, still no sign of this model of Patrick being stuck in his trumpet or valve trombone here. And yes, I know I called it a tuba by accident in the last video, definitely a brain fart there. I'm a band kid, of course I know my bassoons from my French horns. Anyways, secondly, probably the bigger of the additions to the game since launch is that actually this week, as I'm uploading this, Garfield, who was found to be an unimplemented character with some remnants left over in the game at launch, has now finally been added back into the game fully. And not only this, but the leftovers of his dream stage have also been added in, complete with the large lasagna, as you'd expect. In my Lost Bits video, I also went over some leftover text references explaining what Garfield's moves were planned to be. So let's see if Garfield's moves are the same as what was seen in the text strings. So going through the list of attack names that were found in the files at launch, we seem to have them all. Fly Swatter has Garfield swatting with a newspaper, Spin Drop does a spin drop. We got Forward Kick, Happy Day, which has Garfield stretching out in excitement, Tap Dance, Donut Bother Me, Thrashing Thoughts, which has Garfield, of course, thinking about his favorite day of the week, or lasagna, Leg Slap, which I certainly didn't expect to literally be an attack slapping someone with a giant turkey or chicken leg. Then there's Burp, Cat Pounce, Lasagna Frenzy, scarfing down a lasagna while on top of a giant lasagna here, nice, Yawn, Classy Shtick, and Air Stomp. Also, if you remember, there were 3 moves with leftover text that also described how they would work, and it looks like they work exactly as they were described, and this text was actually reused for this screen here. Pie Party throws pies with different attack properties in order, the first one hitting the enemy up or down, the second launching further, and the third one which constantly pushes other characters away. Then there's Feral Cat, which has the fat cat here jumping up and then diving, dealing damage where he lands. And then the Pookie move also works exactly as described. Also, can I just say, Garfield's face when holding down is definitely, as the kids these days say, a vibe. Furthermore, it looks like at least several of the previously unused arcade mode intro messages have also been added in. Then to accompany Garfield, like I said, as you've been seeing in the background, his own Sweet Dream stage has also been added in. Just like with Garfield, basically everything appears like we saw with the stuff that was left over in the game on launch, right down to all the background details and food NPCs. The recreation we saw made by Ghost's Pumpkin Soup on launch was a bit brighter, which honestly I kinda like more, and one thing that I found kinda strange is that the sheep in the background, even in the current version, aren't pink like their previously unused model, as well as how they were seen in some placeholder and concept art. These were intended to be cotton candy sheep, so it's kinda strange that they're not pink, let alone almost looking untextured here. It's pretty cool to see that Garfield, as well as his associated stage, got implemented basically exactly like we saw in launch 2 months ago as I make this video. And with modders almost fully implementing him in the stage not long after release, it makes me wonder just how close Garfield, his stage, and all the costumes really were to being ready to go when the game was first launched. Now, as I make this video, the alternate costumes, Garfield, and his stage are the only bits of content that were previously seen unused that have since been added. Now don't get me wrong, I'm very happy that these did get added now, but there's still plenty of unused content that we saw that would have been awesome to see added in. Most notably, there's still Shredder from the TMNT series that we basically saw an equal amount of leftover traces as we saw with Garfield. So I'm really hoping that he also gets added into the game at some point. And now with Garfield disrupting the symmetry of the character select screen, at least one more character would be nice as well. Additionally, there were all the items that were scrapped that I'd love to see added, the various voice lines for other characters that hopefully get added as well, and of course the also currently unimplemented Double Dare themed stage. Though this game has definitely proved to be no smash killer, I think it can hold its own, but it certainly needs constant updates over the coming months to keep it in the radar, especially with the upcoming WB multiverse fighting game, which of course I'm looking forward to trying out as well as hopefully making a video on in the future. Anyways, on that note, I hope you enjoyed this short update video. If you did, be sure to check out some more of my lost bits and subscribe to find your way back in the future. And as always, thank you all so much for tuning in today, and I will see you in a bit.